Hey, it's Christopher Dean and welcome to part 10 of a tutorial series where we build a design system in Sketch. And it's time for another Community Updates edition. And we're finally back doing another tutorial. It's been 3 weeks. And basically what happened is my mum came over for a week. She visited us from Christchurch, New Zealand. Then I spent a week in Singapore. And you can see that in the first design vlog that I did. I'm going to do design vlogs every now and then about different design topics. Maybe interview some people and see how that goes. And then for the last week, things have been getting pretty busy at work. So I've been focusing on that and now we're ready. So let's just have a look at what we're going to do. Okay, Design Systems Part 10, Community Updates 2, Abstract Software Update. Now this is an interesting one because it's moved from having a top bar and then everything underneath it with a couple of sidebars layout to having a sidebar with everything over to the right layout. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And then we get into a popular one, first brought up by Justin Ewart, based on the part 1 of this series where I did the artboards, and we ended up with the 375 pixel artboard that is the iPhone 6 and 7 and 8 width. This causes issues because it's not friendly with 8-point grids. And as you know, I'm going to be using an 8-point grid. Hopefully you will be too, but that's up to you. So thanks to Justin Ewart for first bringing it up, and Anton Aziz, Georgi Tabadzi, and Andre Mariska for backing him up. We're going to have a look at that tonight and see whether it's going to be 320 or 360 or something else. Let's explore it and see what works. The next one's interesting. I think I'm going to do data list, but not data table, because data table is basically a table. And that's going to take a lot of time to set up, so I think I'll break that out into its own one. I couldn't get in touch with him to figure out what his name is in English, or whether he has an email address or a Twitter account. So I'm still tracking him down, but this is for you, and you know who you are. And then I'm going to do a bit of a cleanup. So let's open Abstract, update it, and see what's different. So up until now, this is what we're used to looking at, where we've got the name and project details at the top left, the button that we always hammer on the top right, new branch, the sidebar that shows all of the commits that we've made and merges that we've made. It also shows conversation, which I don't have any, commits, files. There we go. Let's go back to the commits tab. Information about every commit that has been made visually, and then edit in Sketch on the top right, along with some other options. Okay, let's go ahead and update it. Go to Abstract, check for updates. Okay, and here we are at the new Abstract interface. Let's go and check the build number. Yes, 0.70.1. On the left-hand side, we've got the main navigation, and the layout looks like it's taking on more of a dashboard feeling, where I've got my main file here, any active branches that are going on will happen here. An about section, we select edit, we can enter some markdown, help your colleagues understand what this project is about, or link to existing documentation. That'll be good. We go down, we've got the recent activity, and if I click on one of these, it'll probably take me to a similar view that I normally get when I load Abstract. Okay, so everything that was at the top is now there, and then everything else has been pushed over a little bit. I think this makes it a little bit faster to get around. So we can click through some of the merges that we've done pretty quickly. Select activity, which gives us an overview. The Files tab, of course, shows us information about the file. Okay, activity, master, back to overview, and we've got quite a lot of work that's been done. And just before we make a new branch, I'm going to click on my name at the top left. Okay, this is our projects view. Let's click on Design. We're back where we were. Let's go over here and go new branch and type in community updates 2. Okay, top right again, edit in Sketch. Okay, I'm going to quickly switch back to Abstract and see if on that dashboard this branch is sitting there waiting to be looked at. And there it is, fantastic. Let's go back into it. So let's get started on tonight's tutorial. And the first one is that mobile artboard. We're going to go and replace that. So let's go over to the artboards page. Have a look at the one that we had previously. Let's duplicate this one. I'm going to hold down Command D. Move this over to 4,700. Okay, what size are we going to use or test out first? Let's drop this down. Okay, that's not helping us that much. So by memory, it's 360 by 640 for an Android artboard. Let's just go and check that in the material guidelines. And here we are at material.io/devices. So that's a good size to start with if you're focusing on a smaller screen first, to make sure you cater for smaller screens. And then you and your developer can use the auto layout in Sketch or Xcode or Android Studio to grow those as you get into bigger devices. So let's go back into Sketch and see what kind of layout settings we can use. Let's select the layout settings again. And we're going to try 320, 4 columns, 24 pixel gutter. Okay, we can already see that's not going to be big enough, even if we center it. So maybe 328, 24. Okay, that looks like it could be all right. Let's select OK and take a look. We're going to move these guides into place. Place one right in the middle, and then add guides to the end of the first gutter and the third. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that for now. So now we have an 8-point grid that perfectly fits the device that we're using and is going to accommodate the rest of our elements a lot better than if we had left it at 375. Let's go rename the artboard to 360. Okay, and just for now, I'm going to leave the other artboard there. You can delete it if you want, but I'm going to be using this one from now on. All right, what's next? If we look at this dataList element demo on CodePen and select the bottom field, what you select goes into the input field. So it's kind of like a select box, but uses an input field. I think we're going to be able to duplicate the select box and modify it to become this. So let's go and do that. We're going to make our way over to where our form elements are. We're going to have to make this artboard higher to accommodate it. Let's change this to 1500. Duplicate this by Command D. Move it back into place. I'm going to select this H2 here and turn on layout and then turn on the grid as well. I keep on going back to doing those shortcuts, but I want to do it here for you guys, just so it's easy to follow. Let's move this into place about here. You can still have a label. And I think what we have to do is remove that icon. And we can already do that by going over to the overrides and selecting icon none. We already have something that looks like an input field. So do we really need this to be called this? Or can we use the same symbol? I think I'm going to delete it. Sorry about that to the person that actually suggested this change. And we're going to keep this and use it as dataList as well. So if you went back to the artboards, dropped one in there, and symbols, form, select, went over to the overrides and selected icon none, you would have something that you could rename here as data list. You could even put a button next to it. So you could set the selection that you're making there and then submit there. Let's move this over. Add submit in the overrides. Turn off the option. Add a space to the error and resize this up. And you've got the default state. Let's delete these two. Go back, and since we didn't need to extend that artboard, we're going to reset the size. And I mentioned earlier that I was going to break out data table or table into its own part. So from here, it's just going through and tidying up the file. This is good because it means this part is quite short, and the next one I can probably do before the weekend. And I think that's going to handle images, so different ratios that we can use in our nested symbols to build out things like cards and hero slides. Let's quickly zoom around the file and see what I have to clean up. I was going to fast forward this part, but we might not have to. I'm just checking the header styles. These are all fine too. I think I was more concerned with layers. So those are at the top. These follow. Paragraph styles. Yeah, these are all the way to the bottom. So what we want to do is select these paragraph ones, move them up to the top. Select the next set, move that up. It looks like if we just grab these label ones and move them to the bottom, we're going to be okay for everything else. Nope, those have to move above error. These go above these. Okay, what about these ones? They're in their own folder. But the way down the bottom, I think links and list should go in here. So let's drag them. And we can turn off that whole section, turn it back on. Let's have a look at the order of these. Okay, they're fine. Those are fine too. Let's go down to the white headings. Okay, there's two of the same thing there. Select the one underneath the top one and delete it. Okay, those are fine. Same thing that happened before. Let's select the A label ones and move them to the bottom. Okay, and those are fine. Let's just zoom in and make sure everything is its proper weight. Yep. Let's do the same here for order. Okay, good. Okay, headline can stay over there, but let's move it to the top. Then body would be under it. Call out will move under body. Subhead is fine where it is. Caption 2. Caption 1. We'll move caption 1 above caption 2. And footnote above caption 1. Let's just check the title in primary. Same thing, headline should be at the top, followed by body. Subhead is fine. No, call out goes before subhead. Okay. Caption 2 is right at the bottom, which means caption 1. Footnote goes above caption 1, and we'll select footnote and caption 1 and move it above caption 2. I suspect the same thing has happened here, so the headings are okay. Headline gets moved up. Body. Call out, subhead. Footnote below subhead and caption 1 above caption 2. Over to Android. Headline goes to the top. Title goes under headline. Subhead goes under title. Let's zoom in so you can see what I'm doing a bit easier. Body 2 is under subhead. Body 1 goes below Okay, this one's a little bit tricky because they name things. So body 2 is over body 1. And you've got caption, menu, and button. Okay, let's do the same for primary and white. Go to the button and forms artboard. Okay, these are all in order. And we've got form elements underneath. Okay, they're fine. Form radio and form checkbox should be down here. Let's move them above form select. Then we've got the radio. Options, which should all be together. And now they are. And then the checkboxes are fine as well. There's 2 icons that should be moved up here. Let's go over to the icon artboard. Okay, it looks like all the 24 pixel icons are at the bottom when all of these 16 pixel icons should be there. So let's select all these 16 pixel icons. Move them just above the iconography artboard. Then we go into the 24 pixel ones. Then we go into the 128. Now, are these in the right order? Okay, it looks like everything's fine. All right. Let's save where we are. Turn off the grid and layout for this artboard. Layout gets turned off for these artboards. And this is interesting. Up the top right, we've got arrows. I'm going to delete them and see what happens. Or we get a warning on the down arrow. Let's cancel. Go over to our form element. Go into form /select/default. And let's double click on this and see if it takes us back to the top right one. Yep. Let's replace it with symbol, icon, 24, arrow down. Which one is it? Let's place that there. Ah, it's the first one. Let's just delete it. Go back to that artboard. Okay, and you can see that it's now been broken out of its symbol. So let's replace it with icon, 24 pixel, down arrow. Make sure the resizing is set to right and fix width and fix height. Delete the broken icon below it. Let's get rid of this one too. And replace this one as well. So just copy this. And we're all set. Let's come back out. We ended up doing less by not having to do the data list because we can use form select for that. We ended up doing a little bit more on the cleaning up side. I was originally going to fast forward all of that, but we didn't do that. You saw me rearrange some of the layers of the text, and that's it. So let's go down and preview and commit at the bottom here. I'm going to type in community updates to done. Select commit changes. Select this tab up here, changed. So that's showing us our new artboard that we moved things around. Let's go to the top right and select merge branch. Select merge and archive. Okay, let's go back to the overview. And there's no active new branches. Great. Okay, and that's it for this part. The next part is going to be images, and I spoke a little about that before. The part after that will be tab elements and a table. But for now, it's good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.